Alex was a fisherman who lived in a small coastal village. From the outside, his life looked ordinary. He had a wife, Anna, and a bright-eyed little daughter, Leah, who was just 8. But inside, he was a man breaking apart. His boat, the only means of survival, had been battered by storms again and again. While other fishermen returned each day with nets full of fish, Alex came back empty, wet, and torn. At first, neighbors pitied him. Then, they began to mock. He's cursed. Some whispered. God has turned his back on him. Others laughed. Each word pierced Alex's heart. At night, when Anna and Leah slept, he would stare at the ceiling in silence, whispering into the darkness, "If you're really there, why me? Why let me fight storms, only to come back with nothing?" His questions always floated into silence. One stormy evening, Alex trudged along the shore, head heavy with despair. The rain poured down. The waves hissed against the rocks. That's when he saw a figure. An old traveler collapsed on the wet sand. Alex rushed forward, pulled the weak man under a small hut, and offered him water. The man's face was tired, but strangely peaceful. With eyes that seemed to look right through him, the stranger whispered, "Faith is not seeing the calm sea. Faith is roving, even in the storm." Alex blinked. He wanted to ask what the man meant, but the old traveler closed his eyes, drifting into sleep. By dawn, when Alex awoke, the man was gone. No footprints, no sign he had ever been there. Alex wondered if it had been a dream, yet the words clung to him like salt on skin. But life did not grow easier. Another week passed, and his nets remained empty. One night, a storm raged so fiercely that even the strongest fishermen tied their boats and prayed it would pass. Inside his small hut, Alex held his family close. The roof shook. The wind screamed. With his voice breaking, he whispered to Anna, "I cannot provide anymore. Maybe I should give up." Before Anna could reply, a small hand slid into his. Leah's eyes glistened with innocence and unshaken belief. "Papa," she said softly, "you told me once that God listens. Maybe he's listening now." Alex froze. His daughter's words were like a knife and a balm at the same time. He realized that while his own faith had cracked, his little girl carried it for him. Tears spilled down his face as he hugged her, ashamed that a child believed more strongly than he did. The next morning, Alex walked to the shore. His new boat had been split apart by the storm. Nothing but shattered wood left. The villagers shook their heads. "It's over for him," they said. But Alex's eyes were drawn to something else. An old, broken boat, abandoned for years, lying half-buried in sand. Its wood was cracked, its frame weak. To the villagers, it was garbage. To Alex, it was one last chance. He touched the rotten wood and whispered, "If you are real, please guide me, because I can't guide myself anymore." For days, Alex worked on the boat with his bare hands. He patched the holes, tightened the ropes, mended what could be saved. Leah carried nails, Anna brought foods, though both knew the villagers mocked him behind his back. "That wreck won't even float," they laughed. Alex ignored them. Somehow, he felt he wasn't working alone. At last, one morning before dawn, he pushed the patched-up boat into the sea. The air was cold, the horizon grey. With nothing but a small net and shaking hands, he rode into the waves. Hours passed. His net came up empty again and again. His shoulders ached, his palms bled, his faith wavered. Alone in the endless water, he broke down. "I trusted you," he cried out, "but there's nothing. Nothing." Just then, the clouds above cracked open. A single beam of sunlight spilled onto the sea, golden and warm. The waves seemed to calm. Alex's trembling hands lowered the net one last time. When he pulled, it nearly tore from his grip. Fish, dozens of them, thrashing and shining, more than he had ever caught in his life. His chest heaved, tears fell, and for the first time in years, he whispered not in anger, but in gratitude, "Thank you for keeping my faith alive." When Alex returned to shore, his boat nearly sunk under the weight of the catch. Villagers ran to see, eyes wide, mouths open. The man they had mocked, the one they called cursed, now had more fish than all of them combined. But instead of hoarding it, Alex did something no one expected. He gave. He shared with the widows, the poor, the hungry. By the time night fell, the entire village had eaten from his nets. That night, Anna sat beside him and whispered, "You brought food for everyone, Alex. But what you really brought back was hope." Years passed. Alex grew old. his hands rough, his hair white. When he could no longer row, Leah had grown into a young woman. She often told her children about her father's story. She would say, "Faith is not waiting for the storm to end. Faith is rowing when your arms are tired, when your boat is weak, when everything tells you to stop. Faith is believing there is light, even if you cannot yet see it." And in her home, by the window, she kept an old fishing net, torn, patched, worn with age. Not as a symbol of struggle, but as a reminder of a miracle born out of brokenness. Moral: faith is not about escaping life's storms. It is about trusting that the unseen hand guiding you will never let you drown. Keep rowing, even when hope feels lost. You may be closer to your miracle than you think. Sometimes, the smallest faith leads to the biggest miracles. If you believe in holding on, let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, share this story, and subscribe for more heart-touching journeys. Remember, sometimes the darkest storms bring the brightest lights, and your faith can be the anchor that carries you through. Stay strong, keep believing, and join me here for more stories that remind us all, miracles are closer than we think.